Hi peeps, Junction 6 here. Today it's Sunday, so it's another top 5. This is going to be a bit of a different top 5, because it's not really a top 5, but it's the 5 members of the Simpsons family in tank form. What I think the Simpsons would be if they were tanks. I'm going to take a break from doing top 5s, and next week it'll be the letter F in the lexicon of Blitz. I'm going to do these in age order, so we're going to start off with the number 5 slot, and that is of course the little baby of the family, Maggie. Now for Maggie I've chose this tank because it's a little baby tank, isn't it? It's the Leopard, the tier 5 Leopard, and just like Maggie, if you use that booster you run into things and fall over and bounce around. But also like Maggie, if you remember, she shot Mr. Burns, and this tank can shoot things really good if you're behind them. So we'll move on to the number 4 position, and that's Lisa. Now Lisa is the older sister, and Lisa out of the Simpsons family is probably the one with the most intelligence. That's why I've gone for this tank, the FV201 A45, because to play this you need a bit of intelligence, which is what Lisa's got. She's the one who always works out how Sideshow Bob is trying to kill Bart and foils his plan. It's always Lisa that does it. She's the one with the brains in the family, that's for sure, and you need brains to be able to play this tank. So we'll move on to the number 3 slot, and that of course is the Bartman, Bart Simpson. Now Bart, yes, he's a bit of a tearaway, isn't he? He's always getting into trouble. That's why I've gone for this one, the Type 59. This tank can get you into a lot of trouble. Its turret is fantastic, but it hasn't got the greatest of speeds, and it hasn't got the greatest of gun depression, so you can find yourself in a lot of trouble in this tank. But somehow, because of that turret, you can get yourself out of trouble, which is what Bart does, isn't it? He's always getting himself into trouble, but somehow he manages to get himself out of it. So now we're going to move on to the 2nd spot, and that's the mother of the family, Marge. Now I've chosen the E75 for Marge because Marge is the one constant. She's the mother of the family, isn't she? She's always there, she's always reliable, always dependable, and that's what this tank is. It's reliable, it's dependable, you know what you're going to get with this. It's not the sexiest of tanks, but it's reliable, it's always going to be there for you. It comes from a great family line, just like Marge does, and that's the Tiger 1, Tiger 2. This tank is Marge all over. Just needs a blue camo on it, I think. So we'll move on to the number 1 slot, which of course is the Big Daddy himself, Homer J. Simpson. And for Homer, I've chosen the IS-7. Why the IS-7, you say? Well, Homer's always getting knocked, isn't he? He's always falling down cliffs and getting things smacked on his head, baseball bats and everything. He's always taking loads and loads of damage, and that's what this tank can do. It can take loads and loads of damage. It's the head of a family as well. It's the head of the IS family, and that's what Homer is. He's the head of the family. Everything he does is for his family. He might go about it the wrong way and things don't always work out, but that's what Homer is. He's the head of the family, and this tank is the head of the IS family. That concludes this week's top 5. Like I said, next week I'll be doing the letter F in the lexicon of Blitz. Doesn't mean there won't be any top 5s. They will come back occasionally. Please leave in the comments any tank which you think could be a Simpson character. I'll look forward to reading them. Thanks for watching.